Spider-Man: No Way Home is an anomaly. Not because of its many crossovers, but in spite of them. It's a movie that juggles a vast array of concepts and characters that are firmly rooted in the audience's nostalgia. And as we've seen time and time again, weaponizing nostalgia is something that can go very wrong. But with No Way Home, it goes very right. And we'll be getting into spoilers at this point, so please leave if you're the one person on Earth who hasn't seen it yet. So the problem with a lot of movies based in nostalgia or fan service is that very often, that fan service can feel totally unearned by the film's actual story. Characters that the audience knows but mean nothing to our current protagonists appear. Classic lines of dialogue are parroted without their original context or meaning. And somehow, Palpatine has returned. But Spider-Man: No Way Home avoids all of these pitfalls. Well, almost. As cool as it was, you'd be hard-pressed to say that the Charlie Cox Daredevil cameo added anything to the story. That one was just for us. But that aside, the way No Way Home makes sure its fan service lands narratively where many movies don't manage that, is by grounding it all in character arcs. From returning villains to our surprise heroes to Tom Holland's main universe Peter Parker, the whole film centers character growth as the driving force behind the on-screen action. The plot of the movie, revolving around Peter making the right but more difficult choice to heal all the multiverse villains before sending them back to their realities, is the perfect example of this. It's a true showcase of what makes Peter Parker and Spider-Man who he is, especially when contrasted with another character like Doctor Strange, who just wants to send those villains back without making that right choice. Because, as it turns out, Peter is far more a replacement for Captain America as the MCU's moral compass than he is as a replacement for Tony, I make millions of weapons that kill people, Stark. And Peter's moral choice has consequences. When his first attempt to heal the villains fails, it comes at the cost of Aunt May's life. Just before passing away, she reassures him that despite her death, he has made the right choice. And she says the iconic line, "With great power, there must also come a great responsibility." This moment feels earned in a much different way than the two Spider-Man movies that came before. Not just because we've gotten to know May over a longer series of movies, but especially because the lesson it carries is much more difficult for Peter to process. Tobey Maguire's Peter loses Uncle Ben because he made the wrong choice. The lesson there was simple. He paid a price for choosing to do the wrong thing. But No Way Home goes for something much more challenging. Aunt May dies because Peter chose to do the right thing, and with her last breath, she tells him that that was the correct decision. That choice is what he grapples with for the remainder of the movie, and it's only with the mentorship and brotherhood from the other Spider-Men that he can move beyond his pain and keep making the right decisions. He heals the villains and makes the ultimate sacrifice. To save the world, he has to make everyone he knows and cares about forget who he even is. And when he has the chance to remind MJ and Ned after the fact, he chooses not to. He would rather lose the people he loves the most than put them in danger. With great power, there must also come a great responsibility. And we get a similar, though much smaller scale arc with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. We see a character who is still broken from the last time we saw him, totally destroyed by the death of Gwen Stacy. He mentions how he's lost himself, even hinting at having killed or brutalized some of the villains in his own universe. But with the guidance of Tobey Maguire's youth pastor Spider-Man, and with a final redemptive act of saving MCU MJ from a very similar situation as Gwen, we also see him return to the lighter side of morality. Through it all, Toby acts as the older mentor to both of the others, even taking a stab wound to further make Aunt May's point. With great power, there must also come a great responsibility. It's by centering that character arc and its thematic lesson throughout the entire film, and amplifying it with its fan-servicey cast of Spider-Man, that No Way Home excels where so many previous nostalgia-based movies have failed. Not only that, but it serves as a profound reminder of what it is that makes the character of Peter Parker so special. It's not the swinging or the tech, it's the sacrifices that he makes over and over again in his journey as Spider-Man. Peter is always confronted with situations where he can make a selfish choice or a selfless one, and over again, he chooses to act for others before himself. No Way Home is the perfect love letter to that character, across universes and actors, because it remains sharply focused on just who Peter Parker is. Like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, I am back! Baby! It's been, I think, the longest break I've ever taken from this channel, largely due to an incredibly broken life schedule and an almost equally broken state of mental health. But the grind set has reset, and you can all get ready for more content, because that's all we do now as people. We create content in an endless cycle for corporate value, and then we die. Woo!